answers says, Smith, Smith, Smith and Smith. The woman says, let me talk to Mr. Smith. He says, I'm sorry, he's on vacation. Then let me talk to Mr. Smith. He says, he's on a big case, not available for a week. Then let me talk to Mr. Smith. He says, he's away, he's playing golf today. Okay then, let me talk to Mr. Smith. Speaking. Now that's funny.
Okay, did he like the joke?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did he say at the end? That's funny. Do you like the joke?
No.
What, do you understand the joke?
No. Yeah.
Can you explain for us?
Yeah, because when the guy said he want to talk to Mr. Smith and the speaker is Mr. Smith, why he don't talk to him? Why he say another Smith and another?
Yeah. So where is the man calling? What kind of office? Did you hear what kind of office?
The Smith.
A lawyer. A lawyer. So you know, like when you see the lawyer's office, it usually has the last name of all the lawyers. But so Smith, is that a common last name or not common? It's common, right? So it's like all the lawyers have the last name Smith in this one. But so like she was just saying, like the person calls out, I want to talk to the lawyer, Mr. Smith. And he could just say, yes, I'm Mr. Smith, but he says, no for Smith number 1, no for Smith number 2, no for Smith number 3, and then finally he says, like, that's me. What do you think? Funny or not funny? Not so funny. Okay. Erin, what do we think about time? Do you want me to do the next page, or? Okay. Okay, so if we look at the next page, page 91, we have different categories of jokes, okay? So we know joke is just joke, that one we know. Okay, what about a riddle? What kind of joke is a riddle? Does anyone know a riddle? It's not even, I wouldn't even say it's like a joke. A riddle is like, it's more like a puzzle. It's like a question that has, you have to like think about the answer. Yeah, it's like somebody asks like this question, like, well, let's see, I don't want to tell you the one that's on here. Like, what's, yeah, there's one with like a sphinx that's like, you ask this question, you have to really think about the answer. And if you get the answer, sometimes it's like, oh, it's like magic or something, you know, like something good happens. Okay, what about anecdote? What do you think about anecdote? An experience, yeah. So an anecdote, like the first joke that we heard with Nick, with the chair that broke, that's an anecdote. Like it's a story about something funny that happened in his life. Okay, limerick, this one is harder. Limerick is like a poem. Does everyone understand poem? But it's a poem that rhymes. What does it mean, rhyme? The words that sound the same. What's my name? Tara. So Tara rhymes with Sarah, Cara, Lara, like it, Tara, Sarah, Tara, Lara. Like it sounds the same. So the limerick is like a poem, but it has to rhyme like that, and it has to be funny at the end. Okay. Then we have a blooper. Did you ever watch a movie and at the end of the movie they show like the actors like making a mistake?
Yeah.
That's a blooper. Like you make a mistake. And then a pun is like, these are like the kind of jokes that everybody says like your grandfather likes. A pun is like a joke about a word that has 2 different meanings. You know, like watch. Like watch is like this, but watch can also mean like look. Yeah. So it's like if you make a joke where you use like the 2 different meanings, that could be like a pun.
Yeah.
Do you have those in your language?
Yeah, like if you want to borrow the person's money, like then you say, okay, I will to talk with my girlfriend, or I will talk with my boyfriend. But you may say, oh, these people may not have boyfriend or girlfriend.
Okay. Okay.
What that means?
I would say, so that, I don't know if it would be a pun, but that would, well maybe, because you are like playing with the words on
Okay,
it.
like you want to get money from his aunt, but she said she will ask her boyfriend. But you know that she doesn't have
Okay.
boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay, honestly, that's funny. I like that. Okay, so see if you can decide. We have 5 things here. We're going to decide, is it a joke, a pun, a limerick, a riddle, or a blooper? Help each other. Tell each other. You're dead.
Yeah.
Read it out loud. Read it out loud. Uh-huh. Okay, so what do we think about number one? What never gets any wetter no matter how hard it rains? What category is that? Riddle. A riddle. Okay, and what is the answer? The ocean. All right, let's use one of our expressions. What do you think about that joke? Funny, not funny? It's what? Silly? Silly? I've heard that one before. What do we think? Riddles are usually like that. I feel like riddles, they're not usually like funny. They're more like, oh, like, I get it. Okay, what about the second one? Joke. What do we have at the end of the joke? I heard somebody say it over here. Punchline. So punchline is like the part that makes the joke funny. So why is the last part funny? I would, but I need the eggs. Why does that make it funny? So a man goes to a psychiatrist and says, "Doctor, I'm worried about my brother. He thinks he's a chicken. Why don't you take him to mental hospital? I would, but I need the eggs." Who's crazy, the man or his brother?
The man.
The man. Because does he really have a brother?
No.
What does he have? A chicken who he thinks is his brother. So it's the man that's crazy, not the brother. All right, what are we going to say from our reactions? What is Greta Hood? Uh-huh. What?
That's really sad.
That's what? Which one?
That's really
Ridiculous?
no. That's
Oh, really silly. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, number 3, I need somebody to read it. Who's it for us. Come on, we got somebody to read it out loud. All right, Dan, let's hear it.
A customer eating a crepe found a very large food in his street. Said the waiter, "Don't
Shout.
shout and wave it above, or the rest will be waiting one too."
All right, what category is that? Limerick. What was the limerick again? Yeah, it's the poem that rhymes. So it says, a customer eating at Crew found a rather large bug in his stew. So Crew and stew. So the waiter don't shout and wave it about. So shout, about, or the rest will be wanting one too. Two rhymes with Crew and stew. So it's always that like formula. It's two rhyme, and then number 5 rhymes with 1 and 2. So it like makes that poem.
Miss Sally?
Uh-huh.
Your boy like rapper?
Is my I could be a rapper? Yeah, well that's how rappers do sound like that with the rhyme and the limerick. It's my new career. After I'm done teaching, I can go be a rapper. Now I've got the hair, right? Like, okay, what do we think about that one? Funny, not funny? Do you understand it? Don't understand? What do you say if you don't understand? What can we say from our...
I don't understand.
I don't get it. Or... It's over my head. Does anybody get it? So, a man is at... Crew is the restaurant. A man is at the restaurant. What does he find? A bug. So stew is like soup. He finds a bug in his soup. And what does the waiter tell him? Don't shout. So normally, if you find a bug in your soup and the waiter says, shh, don't shout. Why? Why? Because other people don't want the bug in their soup and they will think, oh, this restaurant is dirty. But he says, or the rest will be wanting one too. So what does the waiter think? Does he think other people want the bug or won't want the bug? No, he thinks they will want the bug. Like they'll be jealous. All the customers will be jealous that you have the bug and they don't have a bug. That one's famous, right? Erin, you know that one, right? That one, yeah. All right, what about puns are bad, but lyrics are verse? Pun. What does it mean, verse? Does anyone know? What's a verse? Like a line of a poem. But what does verse sound like? What is more, it says bad, but what's more bad? What's more bad? How do you say more bad in English? Worse. So worse sounds like verse. So it's like, oh, puns are bad, but limericks are verse, which means poem, but it sounds like worse. That's how you have to feel about a pun, right? You have to be like, oh, Dad, that's so lame. What do we think about that one? I would say that's so lame. What would you say?
I don't have good pronunciation.
So you can't. So you would say that went over my head. All right, and then what about the last one? It's so nice. It's so meet to nice you. I mean nice to meet you. Blooper. Blooper is like where you mess up. You make a mistake.
Oh.
Yeah, because it should be nice to meet you, but he says meet to nice you. It's like you make a mistake. Okay. All right. I think we have to switch to presentations. Can I give them homework, Erin? Yes, homework. I want everybody to think of a joke that you know in your country or in your language. Tell us if you think the joke will work in English or not, and you're going to tell us on Wednesday. I'll be here on Wednesday to watch a presentation. So tell us on Wednesday your joke. Everyone's going to come with a joke. Yes? All right. All right. Who's presenting first?